Hi, Piano Annie here, and today I'm going to show you why I asked you to learn the different versions or inversions of the 7 chords, for example, or also the 6 chords. So I like to call this the lazy sloth because they say that you should be a lazy sloth at the piano and that the less effort you have to put into jumping around, then the better your playing will sound. So when you find a version of the C7 chord that you want to use, when you're just playing around, and then you're ready to go to the F portion with your left hand, you want to find a version of the F7 chord that doesn't require you to maybe jump your hand all the way up here. So here you are on C, E, G, and then flat 7, which is B flat. And then if you just move down a little bit right here to this A, F, E flat, C, that's a version of the F7. So if you were to go from the C7 to the F7, you don't have to move your hand much, right? And that will also allow you to go faster eventually. All right, so then what about when we go from the C portion of our 12-bar blues and it's time to go up to the G? Well, there's a real easy G7 right here. Okay? So I don't expect you to know all of these right away, but a great way to practice it would be to choose maybe the root version of the C, okay? And then make yourself go through C, F, back to C, then to G, then to F, then to C, with chords that you find nearby. So we just went through this. Let's pick the next version of C, okay? So I would do this. You can use the 2-5-1-4 if you want. And then it's time to go to F. So I might choose this one with the E flat on the bottom and the F, A, C. Okay? Then it's back to C. And then what about when I go to G? Well, if I just move right here, G, B, D, and then the flat 7, which is F, on the bottom. Okay? Then it's time to get quickly back to that F, and then we're back to the C. And if you make yourself go through that, you'll really start internalizing the different versions of the chord. All right, so let's try one. Let's do this version of the C. It's C, E, G, and then here's our flat 7, okay? And then, well, there's an F right up here, and then there's an F right down here. So I could choose this for my F, which is the root position, right? Because the F is at the bottom, F, A, C, and the E flat. Or, since I was right here, I could switch to this version, which is the F on top, and then A, C, E flat. Why not practice it both ways as you take yourself through the 12-bar blues? All right, so then once we're in an F, let's say that we chose this one. Then we have to get back to C. And then it's time for G. Well, your thumb is right there on G. So this would be a naturally quick option, right? G, B, D, F, the root position. Or you have the option of, this is where we were for the C, you could just take your thumb, hit the G and the F, and then hit your B and your D up here. And that gives you a, and then go to whichever F you chose, or maybe you had chosen this one, and then to the C. All right, so now since we're going through them all, let's find this version of the C7. then how about that one that we just used before, right? That's pretty darn close. And then here we are with the F7, okay? So you would go through that, and then back to the C, and then when it's time to go to the G, oh man, right there. It's right there. Barely have to move my hand at all. It's a nice G. And then you'd go to your F, and then back to your C. Sometimes you might want to choose your chord inversion based on the top note that you're hitting so that you can establish some kind of melody. So if, for example, you were finishing up your 12-bar blues and you're doing a bar of G, bar of F, and then into C, you might choose for your G, you might choose this chord. So you've got a D on top. And then for the F chord, you might put the C on top. So there's your F, A, C, and then there's your E flat in the bottom. And then you might choose the regular root position for the C. And that way you get, because that way you get sort of this a little descending set of notes that might be agreeable to whatever you're playing. All right, so the better you can learn all these chords, the better you'll be able to improvise. And remember, I just worked here just now with C7 chords only. You can do the same thing with the 6 chords or any chord. Just to show you an example, if you were working with this F7, you could also then just go to this C6. You don't have to stick with all 7 chords or all 6 chords or all 9 chords. And you also don't have to hit every note every time. Sometimes that gets a little too busy. You can, or even just can leave out a note or two from your chords up here. But when you're first learning them, I would recommend learning them with all of the notes, and that way you'll master the different combinations. Okay, that's it on being a lazy sloth at the piano. I'll see you next time.